It was a warm autumn afternoon. Rosie and Philip were busy at Knapford Yards, shunting trucks for the other engines to take to the far side of the island and beyond. Philip watched in amazement as Rosie calmly arranged her trucks with no trouble whatsoever. That evening, the Fat Controller came to see Rosie. And so the next morning, when her crew arrived, Rosie set off for Thomas's branch line. When she reached Elsbridge, Percy was waiting for her. Throughout the morning, Percy and Rosie shunted trucks in Elsbridge Yard, and Rosie would sometimes deliver goods to the harbour. She was enjoying her new job. That night, Thomas was talking about his race with Bertie, which he had won many years ago. Percy and Toby rolled their eyes. They had heard the story 1,000 times. But Rosie hadn't. She listened intently to Thomas's story. Rosie knew Toby was right and quietly went to sleep. The next morning, a train of fuel tankers were waiting in Elsbridge Yard to be added to Henry's slow goods, which was due to arrive at 10 a.m. But today, the big green engine was held up by track work on the far side of the main line. So Rosie buffered up to the fuel tankers, and when the guard blew his whistle, she dutifully set off. Rosie's journey had been uneventful, but this wasn't to last when she reached Henry's tunnel. The driver, fireman and guard stepped down to investigate. They discovered the tanker in the middle of the train had derailed. And so Rosie's guard ran to the entrance of the tunnel while she ran to the next signal box. By the time Rosie returned to the tunnel, it was engulfed in flames. The fire brigade worked their hardest to put out the blaze. It wasn't long until the fire was put out. Amazingly, despite being as old as the tunnel, the only damage it really had sustained was warped rails, but the tankers and brake van were completely destroyed. The Fat Controller soon arrived on board Henrietta. That night in the shed, Percy, Toby and Thomas listened in awe as Rosie told her story.